Welcome to Lecture 2, Unit 1. My name is Jorge Young, and this is Statistics 2023. And in this lecture, we're going to be talking about types of data and measurement level for each data. So variables can be classified either as qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative variables are also known as categorical variables, and these are values that take on names or labels. Gender, is one of them. Political affiliation, Democrat, Republican, Independent. Those are labels or names. And another example would be the color of a ball, red, green, or blue, religious preference, Christian, Jewish, Muslim. Those are examples of qualitative variables. Now, quantitative variables are what we call numerical, and they represent a measurable quantity. So an example, so when we speak of a population of a city, we're talking about the number of people in the city, and that's something that we can measure, that attribute of the city. So therefore, the population will be a quantitative variable, or the number of people in the population would be a quantitative variable if we're talking about a city. So quantitative variables can be further broken up into discrete or continuous. And so we're going to go ahead and see what the difference between these two are. So a discrete variable can be counted. That would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So an example of discrete variable will be the number of siblings. You can either have 0 siblings, 1, 2, 3. You can't have 2.5 siblings. Number of students in the classroom, again, either 25 or 24, 32, or 15. Now, continuous variable are variables that can assume an infinite number of values and an interval between two specific values. So they often include fractions or decimals. So an example of a continuous variable would be temperature, heights of fifth graders in the classroom. And so here we have variables and types of data, right? So here we have the data, either quantitative, qualitative, and then quantitative can be further broken down into discrete or continuous. So let's see, are these discrete or continuous? So the number of pizzas sold by Pizza Express, lifetime in hours of 15 iPhone batteries, blood pressure of runners in a marathon, or the number of children in a family. So the first one is discrete because you either have 0 pizza or 20 pizzas or 25 pizzas. Lifetimes and hours of iPhone batteries, that's continuous because it can go anywhere from 0 to 27 hours. Blood pressure is also continuous because it runs the whole gauntlet from very good blood pressure to extremely high, about to having a heart attack type of blood pressure, and any value in between those two. And then the number of children in the family is discrete, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So the next thing we're going to talk about are the level of measurement. So another way to classify data is according to one of 4 levels of measurement. So the nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. So nominal classifies data into mutually exclusive categories in which no order or ranking can be imposed on the data. So these are names, labels, or categories. Ordinal classifies the data into categories that can be ranked. However, precise differences between the ranks do not exist. The next one is interval, ranks data and precise differences between the units of measure do exist. There is no meaningful 0 in an interval. And then the last one is ratio. So ratio possesses all the characteristics of interval measurement. There exists a meaningful 0. Excuse me. So true ratios exist when the same variable is measured on 2 different members of the population. So here's some examples. So nominal will be zip code, gender, eye color, those are nominal. Ordinal will be the grade that you receive in a class, or rank, first, second, or third, or a rating scale, poor, good, excellent. An interval will be an SAT score or the temperature, and ratio will be height, weight, or salary. And the reason it is because you can say that someone is twice as tall as someone else, or twice as heavy, or makes twice as much money. So those comparisons are legitimate. And interval, they're not really legitimate. So here we have some further examples. Again, nominal. In nominal measurement, the numerical value is just a name, and it puts data into categories. Ordinal, distance between the attributes do not have any meaning. Interval, ratios don't make any sense. And then in ratio, this means that we can construct a meaningful fraction or ratio of a variable. So Are these qualitative or quantitative? So we have marital status of nurses, the time it takes to run a marathon, color of automobiles, or the weight of lobsters in a tank. So the first one is qualitative. You're either married, single, divorced, widow. Those are categories. The time it takes to run a marathon is quantitative. Color of automobiles in the parking lot is qualitative. And then the weight of lobsters in the tank is quantitative. So here we have another example, right? So student life level of measurement. So we have different categories. Length of time to complete an exam, time of the first class, major field, course evaluation, scores in the last test, and the age of student. So the first one is ratio. Second one is interval. And then nominal for major field, that's just a category. Course evaluation is ordinal. Score in the last exam is a ratio, and then the age of student is a ratio. And that's the end of Lecture 2, Unit 1. Thank you.